Days of Our Lives spoilers reveal that in the interrogation room, Gwen tells Trask she's willing to suffer the consequences of confessing to Jack about her miscarriage if that means Xander gets his money back. Trask calls her bluff. She already knows her secret has been exposed. Xander left her a message telling her so and he wanted his money back. A guard brings Kristen to wait outside the interrogation room. She listens and as Gwen insists to Trask that Xander is all she has left. He's been there for her when no one else has. She begs Trask to let her do this one thing in return, get back his money. Trask can't help her. Trask walks out to the squad room and sees Kristen. She is all too happy to inform her Brady declined her request for a visit. She smirks and walks off. Kristen is brought into the interrogation room. She tells a confused Gwen she's going to help bust her out of there. Xander pleads Gwen's case to Jack at Horton House. Jack says there will always be a place for Gwen in his heart, but he'll never forgive her for this. Or Xander for covering for her. Xander thought he was protecting him. He didn't want him to get hurt. Jack retorts, look how that turned out. Xander admits he's been a bad friend, but he's truly looked out for Jack's daughter. He loves her. Jack says, well then. God help you both. Xander reminds Jack he has been given many second chances himself. If he can't do the same for Gwen then she's probably better off without him. At home, Abigail catches Chad up on her conversation with Jack. She never wanted to take Jack's daughter away from him. Chad reminds her all she did was expose the truth. The fallout is on Gwen. He's grateful they can finally start to heal. He knows they have trust issues to work on, but he feels hopeful. Abby does too. She feels like she woke up from a bad dream and feels more like herself than she has in a really long time. He can see it too. They kiss and then head up to the bedroom where things get more passionate. Says, we're finally back on track. She thanks him for not giving up on her. He says, never. Kayla finds Steve at Brady's pub. He hangs up with Shane who confirms John hasn't worked with him in months. Steve's frustrated that he has no idea where John is. Kayla suggests he talk to Marlena, but he says she's not returning his calls. She's not returning Kayla's either. They think something is definitely off with her. Kayla recounts how John thought the same thing, which is why he listened to the recording of Doug's session. Steve needs to find out where John went after St. Luke's, and Marlene is the only person who knows that. Susan licks one hand while the other is wrapped around John's leg in the crypt on Days of Our Lives. Mardevil brings Susan, still in cat form, into the crypt to see John, who is still chained up. The cat purrs as she rubs up against his legs. When John asks why Mardevil brought him a cat, she says she thought he'd want to see an old friend. Mardevil waves her hand. Susan appears, wrapped around John's leg and licking her hand. John yells at Susan until she snaps out of cat mode. Susan tries to get through to Marlena by invoking John's love, but Mardevil lashes out. Susan falls to her knees to pray, as John pleads with Marlena. He reminds her it's their wedding anniversary. He vows to never give up on her and urges her to fight for them. Mardevil tears up and crumples to the floor, yelling, no. Susan passes out as well. Marlena, back in control, stands up and sees John tied up. She promises to get him out of there. It will all be okay. Susan stands and cracks her neck. Her eyes flash yellow and her voice deepens. She says, I wouldn't count on that, Marlena. Satan cackles and says Susan's connection to the spirit world gave them access to her body. Marlena orders Sue Devil not to hurt John. Devil throws her across the room, shouting, you can't stop me. Marlena crashes, motionless, to the floor. Sue Devil assures John they won't hurt Marlena, because there is so much more they have to accomplish together. John vows to stop Satan, who thinks it's time to take him out of the equation. John says they can kill him, but they'll never kill his and Marlena's love. Sue Devil thinks there's a better way to break Marlena's spirit than by killing him. And that's by making John betray his beloved Doc in the worst possible way. John would never betray Marlena for another woman, certainly not Susan Banks. Sue Devil says, "But what about your old flame, Kristen?" Sue Devil morphs into Kristen, played by Eileen Davidson. Be sure to catch up on everything happening with Duel right now. Come back often for Days of Our Lives spoilers, news and updates.